Animal Crossing New Horizons just came out, and as a long-term Animal Crossing fan, I was ecstatic. I've been playing since the GameCube. About maybe 10 plus years ago I bought it. My sister and I played, and we just fell in love. And since then I've played stuff like New Leaf, and so you could say I was really excited about Animal Crossing New Horizons. So my girlfriend was also really excited about Animal Crossing New Horizons, and she decided to drop $60 on launch day for this game, which is super unusual for her. And she booted it up on our Switch and set up an island, start having fun. And later that day I jumped on to get my character started, and at first I was slightly surprised to find that I wasn't able to set up an island, pick where my neighbors were gonna live, or anything like that. I was just joining the town that my girlfriend made, basically just as another villager. Then I remembered that this is how Animal Crossing has always been. I should have expected it because, you've always shared an island. It's not uncommon. So I kind of pushed that worry to the side and kind of started playing as I was excited to play Animal Crossing. It wasn't until a couple weeks into playing that I really started to get bothered by this. Because I realized that not only did we share the same island, she had way more control than I did. I couldn't control almost anything about the island other than the terraforming, so any special mission that pushes the town forward, any new shops to place, any new tools to be unlocked, the museum getting placed, setting up spots for villagers, building furniture that the villagers need to move in, getting the DIY recipes for those villagers, building bridges, building inclines, all of that content is reserved for the first player that gets on the game. If you're player 2, too bad. If the island representative stops playing, that's too bad. There's no way to swap who the island representative is. So if they stop playing, your town just can't progress any farther. Luckily for me, my girlfriend actually plays more than me. So if I was the island representative, she would actually be getting mad at me all the time because I'd be the one who wasn't playing. But on top of this, the island has the most customization that the Animal Crossing series has ever had. It allows you to decorate the outside world to the extent of transforming the landscape, shaping rivers and mountains. And so this is amazing because people can make some incredible things. But the issue with this and sharing an island is that if two different people have different creative visions for the island, then you have to sort it out among yourselves, let alone if there's more than two people on your island. I luckily don't clash with my girlfriend when it comes to the decorating of the island, but there is a part of me that thinks it would be cooler if she could come to my island and I could show her around and give her the grand tour, and I could go over to hers and see what we're doing differently, what her island's all about. So I know you're thinking that there's at least multiple multiplayer so that we can play together on the same island and get our tasks done together at the same time in the morning, have some fun. And that is true, but not really, because you can play together, but it's really frustrating in local multiplayer. The reasoning is that only the main player, who's called the leader, can actually talk to NPCs, access their inventory, their phone. I think you can only craft things as the main person, and the camera only follows the leader. This means the second player doesn't even have an inventory. If you pick up anything in the world, it gets sent to a community chest in the town square for any player on the island to grab. And you can switch who the leader is kind of easily, but it is a hassle. You have to shake your controllers, and then the other person has to click it, and then if the other person wants to be a leader, you have to do it again and again, so it's just annoying. I would have much rather had just my own inventory and split screen or something like that. So I know I've been ripping on this game pretty hard, but it's really not a bad game. It's still have been enjoying this game immensely. I've put 50 hours into this game since it released. I've been loving it. So, there are more flaws too, but I'll get to those later, but it's not all bad. So, like I said, this game's actually a lot of fun, but it definitely is a slower burn than previous games. I wish they had sped up a couple things. It takes 3 days to get a museum, so then you're kind of just holding on to all these fish and stuff that you feel like you want to donate later, instead of just letting you open it the first day, or even the second day would have been fine. But also, you don't even get access to the full island until days into your game. Everything takes way too long, and you don't get the terraforming tools for so long down the road that by the time you have them and you have an idea of what you want your island to be, you have to pay all this money to move all the other houses and things you've already placed. And it's just a huge expense. Also, moving houses and stuff, that's also something only the island representative can do. So if you're player 2, forget it. But what I will say, one of the best things about this game is that customization that I was talking about earlier. I mean, this game, part of it has to do with the graphics. I mean, the graphics are better than any in the series. You can actually see things and they're not pixelated like in all of the versions before, basically. I mean, this is the first Animal Crossing game where I've actually cared about my clothing, because the clothing actually looks good. In all the other games, I kind of just threw them all out. I was looking at my New Leaf, and I only have like 2 pairs of pants, because I just don't care. But in this game, the graphics are incredible. Everything looks charming and cute and nice, and has that nice, soft edge to it. And I couldn't have wanted anything more from a console Animal Crossing release in terms of graphics. And catching the fossils and bugs and fish is more fun than ever. Because not only does everything look better and have some nice animations to it, but there are more specific kinds of fish, like having some fish that only appear on elevated rivers, or some fish that appear only at the mouths of rivers. But also, the way that you see your collection in the museum has improved 1,000-fold. I mean, I can't stress how good this museum is compared to any of the releases, even New Leaf. It is insane. They actually took the time and care to make the museum an interesting place, not solely because it's a collect-a-thon, but because it's a place that you want to go and visit. I've walked through this museum so many times just out of my own interest. There is one humongous downside to this act of digging up fossils, catching bugs and fish, and anything else you do in the game, and that is the tool durability. This is my least favorite feature in probably any Animal Crossing game that's ever released. Basically, if you're using a shovel, slingshot, fishing rod, axe, bug net, or watering can, and you use them enough times, it'll just break. And that means you have to go, stop what you're doing, find the crafting materials, get to a crafting bench, craft the item again, and then you can go back to doing what you're doing. It completely kills all my momentum, and the gathering materials is so monotonous and boring. It's so tedious, and I feel like I'm just wasting my time. I can't even tell you how many times I've broken a fishing rod, and then I just turned the game off because I did not feel like dealing with getting the materials. And it wouldn't be a huge problem if things didn't break so frequently. For instance, the base fishing rod that you get day 1 can catch 10 fish before breaking. Then you need to get 5 tree branches and something else. And then if you want the upgraded one, that can catch 30 fish before breaking, but then you need an iron ingot, so you need to hit rocks. And then you only can use the rocks a certain amount of times a day, and you actually share the amount of resources that are in the rocks and trees between you and all the other human players on your island. So if I played second for the day, and my girlfriend played first and she hit all the rocks, well, I'm shit out of luck. All the rocks are used, and I can't get that iron nugget to get the upgraded fishing rod. And while this is something that's gotten worse since the old games, I will say most features have improved. I mean, there's stackable items now, which I know New Leaf had, stackable fruit, but I didn't know that until like a month ago. Because you actually have to drag the items in your inventory onto one another. They don't stack automatically. You can upgrade your inventory of 40 spaces, which is huge. I mean, I don't know how it was ever smaller. Room customization has never been easier. I mean, it's a glory to not have to like push and pull and try and twist everything around. And getting things on the walls before, oh my god. Getting anything on the wall in an old Animal Crossing game in the spot that you wanted it was just hell. I mean, it's plain and simple, it was hell. And also, you can actually see what bugs and fish you've donated to museum right from your encyclopedia. So you don't have to go up to the sign and read it, or just look through the museum, or just try and donate it. And you have tons of navigation abilities. You can I mean, use your pole vault and your ladder to climb almost anywhere. And I'm sure there's tons of other great features I'm missing, but those are the ones that stick out to me. The next thing that really sucks about this game, in my opinion, and I'm not a time traveler or anything, but it's that the game doesn't have all of the content in it right now. So that means any major holiday, even minor holidays, they just aren't in the game. And it wasn't until this most recent patch at the beginning of May that we even got red and artworks and leaf to come and sell you hedges and things like that. It's kind of like small things like this where I feel like there's missing content that I was expecting from the get-go, like the gyroids and Brewster that aren't in the game, and I feel like they're purposefully holding it back, or the content isn't done, and they're just waiting to release it in a patch later on. And I feel like they're just holding me back and trying to like kind of baby-proof my progression. And I think part of this is because they don't want people to see on social media the Christmas holiday or whatever. I just find it so annoying. I mean, I don't want to not be able to get gyroids because they're not in the game. I want to not be able to get them because I'm not doing the proper stuff. Same with Brewster. I don't want to not have him because he's just not allowed to be in the game yet. I want to not have him because you have to complete the fossil section in the museum or something like that. So one thing I haven't even touched on yet is the DIYs. And I have to say, this is exactly what Animal Crossing needed. I mean, the DIYs make perfect sense for this game. Basically, they're just asking you to chop trees, hit rocks, get materials, and then you can use stuff with them. And same with a bunch of other stuff that wasn't really useful before. So they're just taking what you're doing already in Animal Crossing, and they're just giving you more rewards for it. And there's some really cool and unique furniture. It really turns those useless objects into something with purpose. And it's something that you can do once all the shops are closed. So you can just go around and go to Mystery Islands and get materials. So another thing you can do once it gets dark is work towards your Nook Miles. And these achievements are basically just another incredible way to keep you playing and provide an amazing sense of achievement. You really get a sense of how long you've been playing and what you've accomplished. And it's really fun to just look at them and see how many bells you've spent or how many fish you've caught in your lifetime. I wish they even had more of these. And just in general, just stats that I could look at. So this game has a lot of highs, and it also has a lot of lows. And I think in general that this is probably functionally the best Animal Crossing. I mean, it has lost a lot of its charm to the older titles. I've found the neighbor interaction not quite as exciting as previous titles. Yeah, so I'll always probably favor those, but I think that this one's a technically better game, and it's definitely much easier and fun to play in terms of like gameplay and having something to do all the time. But I just can't get over some of those flaws, and some of those actually kind of drove me back to pick up New Leaf and start playing that over New Horizons every once in a while. It's really a shame because I think that they just kind of decided to go in a different direction than what I was expecting, and I think it kind of came out worse for it. I mean, that might sound confusing. I'm not sure how well I'm presenting my thoughts here, but I'll clear everything up in the score. So I give Animal Crossing's New Horizons 3 out of 5 penguins, and I thought about possibly raising that score and separating it between like solo versus multiplayer experience, but I figured this is my experience. 3 out of 5. There you go. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and let me know what you think of Animal Crossings down in the comments below. And make sure to subscribe and help my channel grow. I really count on people like you, so thank you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week.